Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk a little bit about biomagnification and get you guys squared away with what you should have seen in your activity yesterday, looking at biomagnification. So when we talk about this, we need to talk first about bioaccumulation. Think about the stuff that you've accumulated throughout your lifetime. You've accumulated maybe Beanie Babies or little trolls, or maybe you accumulate baseball cards. Those are things that you have collected throughout your lifetime. The crazy thing is that you are collecting contaminants in your fat tissues. Just like every other organism is doing it, we are doing it as well. So over time, we've been collecting these or accumulating these toxins in our fat tissues. So it says, which portion of hippo does this concept fit into? Hopefully, you haven't figured out that this is directly out of pollution. Biomagnification is the process in which those toxins magnify or get bigger as we travel through a food chain. Hopefully, you understood yesterday from your activity that the producers, while they take in some toxins, they have a small amount of toxins compared to anybody who's higher up on the food chain, because you are what you eat. So contaminants are going to travel from animal to animal or organism to organism, and you are going to take in all of the toxins that the organism before you has taken in, and they're taking in the toxins of whatever they've eaten. So how does understanding how contaminants travel from animal to animal important? Well, you need to think about it. We're at the top of a food chain. So what are we eating, and what has that eaten? What kind of toxins are occurring? Because we're at the top of the food chain, we're going to have the most amount of toxins. DDT was something that we had talked about earlier. DDT, again, is a pesticide that was developed in the 1940s. It's used all over for crops and then other agricultural usages. In World War I, they would use it to kill body lice in soldiers. It was such an amazing thing that people would sing songs about it. There was a lot of propaganda. You can see the beach here with kids getting sprayed so mosquitoes weren't going to bite them. We had no idea what DDT actually had in store for us. Here's a crop sprayer doing crop dusting, and this picture was taken out of Texas. A lot of times when we are spraying crops for pesticides, very rarely are we using the spraying method anymore. Most of the time it's put into the water and sprinkled on the crops. But there are some places that are still using airplanes to crop dust. This is a big risk because obviously it gets picked up by the wind and carried into other fields that might be organic, or it could get picked up and carried in the air and travel to, multiple places, many states away. So DDT, as we looked at it, we started to realize that the birds were starting to become affected by it. And as we did some necropsies of the birds, we realized that in their fat tissues, they had high amounts of DDT. So we took a look at their food chains, and we realized that the predators were having an increase of DDT based off of the insects that they were eating. So if those insects were being sprayed with DDT and either being killed or not killed, the birds were consuming them and starting to build up more of the toxin. So here's one method or one food chain that we see with DDT. It was getting washed off due to rain, and it was being run off into the waterways. And once in the waterways, the plants were starting to absorb the DDT through their roots. So the plants now had DDT within them. Small fish that rely on aquatic plants as a food were consuming the plants, and that was leading to the passing of DDT onto the fish. Now that the fish have it, larger fish were eating smaller fish. Eagles were then hunting the fish, and we were noticing that the top carnivores that were feeding on these fish were starting to suffer. So when the concentration in the eagles was finally found, we realized that it was a massive amount, and it was really starting to have a toll on their reproductive system. If you think about it, 1 in a million is not much, but as you start to build up more, 10 in a million, it might be hard to find 10 people out of a million. But when you start to get to 20 or 30, that's going to become a noticeable amount of toxins that are building up in a body. So we see that happening in the top tier predators. So the birds' reproductive systems were not working really well. They were producing these thin shells so that when mama bird was sitting on the shells, they would crack. So baby birds were not being born in this spring. And that's why Rachel Carson's wrote the book, Silent Spring. So at this point, the adult eagles declined to 4,000 and they were put on the endangered species list. Now we've seen a rebound of eagles. So the banning of DDT, the protection of their habitats has all helped quite a bit to rebound them. So a day in the life of this food chain. Here is our lovely pyramid here. We're going to see how contaminants like DDT are going to pass through a food chain. So we know that if every plant has 5 parts per million of DDT in them, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So this trout, let's just say, is going to eat 5 plants, taking in 5 parts per million of DDT each time. So that trout is now carrying 25 parts per million of DDT. Well, as an eagle, you're not going to eat one fish. You're going to eat several fish over time. So every fish that he eats is going to take in 25 parts per million. If he eats 5 of these fish, that means that that eagle now is carrying 125 parts per million of that toxin in the fat tissues. That is where the effect gets to be quite extreme. So bringing biomagnification in with the other stuff that we've learned in this class, we know that energy reduces as you go up a food chain. Population size reduce as you go up a food chain. So we already know that the top tier predators don't have a very big population. There's only a few eagles in, 10 square miles. They also don't have a lot of energy sources out there for food. So when they do eat, they have to get the biggest bang for their buck. Unfortunately, they're also taking in the most contaminants this way because it's building up over time. Whatever they eat, whatever that eats, and so on and so forth. So contaminants increase as we go through a food chain. So I want you to think about that as you're going through different things.